alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I welcome you all to the fifth episode of the series covering the book Timeless Series of Advice by Bibi Abdullah. In today's episode, we are going to cover the 5 pages of the book, starting from the 21st page of the book to the 25th page of the book. Inshallah, we will be starting from the 21st page of the book. It mentions that if the human knew the pleasure of meeting Allah and being near Him, he would feel grief for being distant from Him. For everything you lose, there is a replacement. But for Allah Azza wa Jal, if you lose Him, there is no replacement. For Allah Azza wa Jal, there is no replacement. For everything you lose, there is a replacement. But for Allah Azza wa Jal, if you lose Him, there is no replacement. The main connection between us and Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala is the Salah, daily prayers. Each salah not only renews our pledge as servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, but it establishes our direct connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To this effect, Umar bin Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, hold on to your salah because if you lose that, you will lose everything. Thus, as Yasir Qadhi says, if you ever find yourself rushing through salat, that means prayer, to make it to another engagement, it is time to recognize your priorities. That means your priority should be always the first priority should be given to the salah, then anything else. Allah Azza wa Jal mentions his book, and Allah would not punish them while they seek forgiveness. Sheikh Al Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah said, Allah has informed us that He will not punish those who sincerely seek forgiveness for their sins. That is because seeking forgiveness wipes away the sin which is the reason for being punished. Therefore, seeking forgiveness repels the punishment. Abu Yazid rahimahullah said, I continued dragging my soul to Allah whilst it cried until it finally surrendered itself and came with me to Allah smiling. I continued dragging my soul to Allah whilst it cried until it finally surrendered itself and came with me to Allah smiling. Imam Shafi rahimahullah said, to be able to thank Allah for a blessing is a blessing within itself. That means thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is also a blessing. A man came to Hassan al-Basri rahimahullah and said, O Abu Sa'd, I complain to you of the hardness of my heart. Hassan al-Basri rahimahullah said, discipline it with zikr. Those who have faith and whose hearts find peace in the remembrance of God, truly it is in the remembrance of God that hearts find peace. Those who believe and do righteous deeds, joy awaits these, and their final homecoming will be excellent. That means the Jannah. As the Quran mentions that, indeed, in the remembrance of Allah, the hearts find peace. Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub. That means it is only the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in which the hearts find peace. The same thing is mentioned here in the another ayah. Those who have faith and whose hearts find peace in the remembrance of God, truly it is the remembrance of God that hearts find peace. Those who believe and do righteous deeds, joy awaits these, and their final homecoming will be excellent. That means the paradise. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those. The most beautiful thing is that he knows what you are about to tell him, and yet he still listens. That means when you make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he knows what you are going to ask for, but still, uh, yet he still listens. This is beautifully illustrated from Musa's Situri, that means Musa alayhi salam's Situri. Allah Azza wa Jal says, Musa, what is that in your right hand? That means Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala already knows what is in his hand, but still mm, he asked Musa alayhi salam, what is that in your hand? Musa alayhi salam himself replies, it is my staff. He said, I lean on it, restrain my sheep with it. I also have other uses for it. This is mentioned in the Quran that Musa alayhi salam himself replies, "It is my staff." He said, "I lean on it, restrain my sheep with it. I also have other uses for it." Allah Azza wa Jal, despite knowing it is a staff, still asks and wants to hear his servant's voice and reply. Although Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what is bothering you and what your problems are, He wants you to talk to Him through the believer's most powerful weapon, dua. That means the most powerful weapon of the believer is to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And with dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is everything possible, whether it be your job, whether it be your marriage, whether it be the issue or related to your health, anything else. You just have to raise your hands and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the best time you can ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the tahajjud time. That means the last one third of the night. And you have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in sujood. And the position of the sujood is the nearest of the positions that a servant can go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And making dua, a sincere dua, asking for anything you want in your life, and making dua for Jannah, and making dua to be, protected from the hellfire is the best of the duas that you can make. And making dua for your parents, making dua for the people who are really in need of your du'as, and making du'a related to your any of the issues, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give you everything. And consider keeping this mind, the du'a of the mu'min, of a Muslim, is the most powerful weapon given to him by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And with this we conclude our today's episode, and inshallah we will be continuing with the next episode of the series tomorrow, inshallah, with the same feelings. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us to gain more and more knowledge of the deen, and grant us the understanding of the deen as it was understood by the Sahaba, by the Tabi'een, and by the righteous companions, and the other aslaf of our aslaf, that means the righteous predecessors. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to make ourselves obedient to Him, and may He make it easy for us. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.